Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Obviously, the last class of the year, as far as the spiritual year we're talking about. And, it's important that this class, or this week specifically, because next week, Monday evening, we're already starting with the process. Okay, so this coming Shabbat and the days after, it's already almost like Rosh Hashanah. So we have these few days, to wake up, awaken ourselves. So, and also to think about that everything that we studied up until now, some of us consistently for a couple of years, few years or more, some of us just this year, you also want to make sure that this coming year, the next 11 months, right, will be geared to accumulate more wisdom. Let's say you study every week. Together we study Kabbalah. You get the little nuggets of a nugget here, a nugget there, but you never really had the meal, right? It was just nuggets. So obviously, I would definitely ask and recommend to all of us who study and getting those little videos or shorts or any of that, to really awaken a desire to really fully engage the next 11 months with the wisdom of Kabbalah. Just put aside everything and try to focus your energy on this wisdom for this 11 months. Right? It's not asking you for the rest of your life. But then you're going to experience the meal, what we're talking about, not just little insight, not just a spark, but the whole full light for the next time. Again, this is a recommendation, even if not, and you're not ready, that's also fine. But this week comes to you, and this is the weekly portion that's been read every year right before Rosh Hashanah. It's called Nitzavim. Nitzavim. Standing upright, stand in front of, this is or set or something like that. You set to this coming year. And he says in this week's portion, for those of us who read it in English or in Hebrew, whatever it is that you have a translation for, that should be read, this week's should be read, as Moses. Again, it's not the creator, it's Moses channeling for us and tell us straight in your face. This is how you want to wake up. This is how you want to take it. It's no longer Moses or somebody speaks about things around and around, by the way or a roundabout way. This week you want to know that Moses speaks to you not without any inconveniency, without any kind of like a sugarcoat or politically correct. This is not this week. He tells you what they asking your soul every day you wake up in this week. They're asking your soul, what are you going to decide to do this year? You need to be awakened for this question. Are you coming to this year with more excuses of why you couldn't, should have, could, whatever, all of these excuses? Are you going to bring it to this year? Why? Yes or why not, right? What is the type of excuses you give yourself why not to do? And what is the type of excuses you give to that I should be reacting, I should be this way? In this week, there is an idea that needs to be awakened. And what we call in Kabbalah, taking responsibility. On what? And he gives you. Atem nitzavim hayom kulchem. And then he says, Rashechem, Shivtechem, Zkenechem, Veshotrechem. Right? He's mentioning 4 groups of people. Consider to be people. Right? But we all know it's all a very intimate work. The work before Rosh Hashanah, it's not in in public work. It's nothing to do with that. The public do it together, but the work is very intimate, very inside, and that's what you do in Elul. And then you go to Rosh Hashanah and you just experience Rosh Hashanah. Here you're doing a very deep work. So what is the work that I want to do in this week? Take responsibility. Rosh Hashanah represent what were you thinking the whole year? What was your thought? What do you thought about people? How many of them are very established with truth, and how many of your thoughts are still engaged with controlling or whatever it is that your thoughts going to or thinking of? How many of us still have, sleepless night, driving ourselves crazy in our mind with thoughts? How many of us stuck in a loop of thoughts? How many of us have thoughts that are corrupted, that are very evil thoughts? Are you going to bring them to next year? This is what you want to take. First of all, full responsibility. It's not because of anybody, but because of my lack of development, my laziness, my easy to grab thoughts. I'm gravitating to that negativity, and let it impure my mind. Let it corrupt my way of thinking about others, about my business, and many others. Then you go to your feelings, right? Shiftechem, right? What you surround yourself with. Is the people who makes me feel good, or the people who are constantly make me, grow and transform? Usually is what feels good. Let emotions, right? Who is your tribe? A tribe of people who is driven and want to change the world, or a tribe of people who just want to take and want to, compete with each other who is better? Or it's because we are in the same tier, so we have to be together? Is it driven by emotion? They make me feel good. I want to be there. They're not pushing me. They let me be selfish. All these emotions you have to ask yourself, do you bring it to next year? Oh, I'm done with feeling of victim. I'm done with, raging so people will obey me. I'm done with this aggression feelings. Why do I choose those feelings? And most of the time when I feel needy is because I want their attention. Enough with this. It stays behind. This is the question that our soul has been asked this week. Because that's how they devise a plan for us this coming week, next week. I'm telling you, this is where we are in the editing room. Make sure you're editing a beautiful movie. Or you're still going to bring I don't feel like. What do you mean you don't feel like? I don't feel I'm ready. What do you mean you're not ready? Right? Tell yourself. Be almost like not beating yourself. Like, I'm a little depressed. A little depressed? What I would recommend, that you can back how many hours, some people are spending days and weeks and in depression. What do you mean depression? We want to ask that this year, the most amount of depression will be between 5 to 30 minutes top. You need to tell yourself this, and your soul will find that solution. If people don't know, they need to decide to not giving into those emotions. Third, ziknechem, you're elderly, right? But it's also an older action that we carry, an old hurt that we felt in the past. Are you bringing it in? No, all of them standing right now. Kulchem nitzavim hayom. All of those thoughts, all of these emotions, all of these actions that I've done that I'm not proud of, that I'm despised. I can't believe I've done it. Bring it on. Don't shovel it. Because they're going to come back to claim. They coming to be claimed a tshuva. A repentance, what we call transformation to light. The hurt that the action that you've done, you stole, you cheated, you shortcut, whatever it is, you didn't say or say. You bring it, kulam nitzavim. All of those things are standing right now and being asked. Do you have a passport for next year? Or you don't have a passport? Maybe some of our negative thoughts already don't have pages in the passport, right? So you need a new passport. I'm not giving you passport to next year, right? Not to this behavior, not to this thinking, not to this type of use of emotions that everybody's obey. As soon as I come up with a little tear and a little, feeling sorry for myself, everybody is obedient for me. No. It's done. I need to learn to communicate. I need to learn to be transparent. I need to learn, and this is the education for our vessel, and that's what I want this coming year. How? Make sure you bring what? Shotrechem, your police officers. What's the connection between your head, your tribe, your older people, and then the police? What's the connection? Yes, because it's all the actions and all the behavior and all the thinking and all the feeling that you had is because you didn't have a policeman over you. If you would put a police to police yourself, wait a second, am I a police that allow the thieves to go in and break in? No. I want to also ask myself to put where is the good policeman that I had? Most of us became so professionally policing others in our life. So busy in policing others and judging others. We have so much time doing it. No. The next 11 months, I'm putting policing enforcement law over me to make sure I will stay in line. And words that I say I'm going to do, I'm going to do. Where I'm going to be, I'm going to be. Commitment is there. Spiritual life, yes. That's the policeman I want to have. And this is what nitzav, what's standing this coming week. Again, you can look at this portion in so many levels, but Moses is speaking in very clear. He says to you, kulchem. Kulchem, it means everyone. Now again, my friend, I'm speaking about it every week that I find this corruption, that the Torah or Kabbalah is just for Jewish people. Here is a witness. The Torah says, kulchem, everyone. Everyone in your life need to come to that day and have a cheshbon nefesh, have a really looking inside on their behavior. And he says, everybody, those of us who feel worthy, those of us are not worthy to go to Rosh Hashanah. Or, I'm not Jewish, or I'm not that observant, so I'm not going to go. What I'm going to get? And I'm more like of the person that myself, I like to be myself in those days. No. You want to be with everyone. You want to feel connected to everybody. You want to be betoch ami anochi yoshevet. I'm inserting myself in the group. No judgment can come. Let's say, for example, you didn't do much work, but you are together with everybody. No judgment can come to you. That's what he says. Bekulchem. Everyone, be together with everybody. Those who knows or those who don't know. Yeah, maybe few of us know what we study today. Maybe few hundreds online watching later. But you do this work so others who don't know also nourish from that. It's okay. But we have to understand, whether if you're ignorant or not, there are no excuses. In this world, there are no free meals. You cannot receive next year just because God loves me and I love him, all good. Yeah, that was good for last year. Now he required more from you. Right? And doesn't matter how much work am I doing, how close I am, how further away from I am coming to Rosh Hashanah like everyone else. You can be the one who blow the shofar, and you can be the one who stand all the way back, and you can be the one who run the show, and you can be the one who whatever. We are the same thing in that moment. We are collectively become unified. The work that I've done and the work that everybody else doing, right? Eventually adding, accumulating, kulchem. We are together, collective consciousness creating. Therefore, what we want to, those of us who are a little bit closer to the spiritual work or closer to do more work, our job is to bring other closer. You understand? And those of us, you have to understand, those of us in our life that are not that close, our job is to bring them closer. That he says, Michotev etzecha, those are the people who are gardeners, right? The gardeners in your house. Anybody have a gardener? If you live in the city, no. But, and if you do, you're probably not here, right? So, the gardeners, or shoev memecha, the plumber, or the people who bring water to your life, right? All of them, did you get them closer, right? Did anybody give a zohar to their plumber, to the gardener, right? No, why? He's a gardener. They're doing my, landscaper, right? No. Everyone need to get closer to the light. Everyone that is around you, the worker, the employees, everyone. And you know what he says actually? Shoev memecha is the one who brings water that represent sustenance to you. Those who gives you your income, do you bless them? The client that provide job to you, the people, the customer who buying from you, are you bring them closer to the light? No. How many clients you had? Oh, this year, 7,500. You brought all of them closer to the light? No, he's asking you. Your employees, your clients, the people who are investing in you. You have to understand you all standing and you all have a purpose there and you want to bring them closer. Part of our work is to look around and to bring the people who work with me as well closer to the light. And he says actually, Lo itchem levadchem. He says, I'm not alone doing this work, right? Ki et asher yeshno po hayom, because there are things that exist today in your life, ve'et asher eneno po itanu hayom. Even the things that you are waiting to have in 6 months from now, this is the work of this week. You know what you're fixing actually this week? The effect and the influence, that situation that will come in 3 or 4 months from now. You're already taking control of them now. He says, even the thing that, don't just think about yourself and what's going on right now and what you see. I want to tell you, for some people, and God forbid, chas v'shalom, no one should have chaos in a few months or anywhere. But if you don't do the work, it's robotically, right? So imagine you already need to fix things that coming in later on, that revealed in a few months from now. So you're going to have different tikkuns. You're going to have different interaction. You're going to have different things that the Creator tells you, by the way, don't think that what you see today, you know what? Pretty good. I'm looking at the year. It was pretty good. I made money, healthy, some friends, some ups and downs. Pretty normal compared to all those people. Oh, I had a pretty good year. Boom, falling. Why is falling? Because et asher eneno po itanu hayom. Because you wait, bless you, You need to wait. In a few months, what's happening, I'm not sure you're anticipating right now what is coming. And therefore, the Creator give us the opportunity in this week's portion, in this week, to change, to rewrite the ways that things will influence us. I spoke about it in the last few weeks, but this coming year have a code, Tafshin Pei Vav. That's a code, that's a number of the year, 5,786 is going to be. Represent, Pei Vav is the name Elokim, is the name of nature, which means it's that word Elokim is going to be revealed this year, which is, for those of us who study for a while, no, it's a tremendous amount of power that we don't know how to harness. Imagine, God forbid, can you handle a tsunami in your hand? No, you probably can handle a wave in your bathtub. But a wave of tsunami or a storm to stop in your hand? No, you can't. Imagine the force of nature, even the physical nature, cannot be stopped by millions of fire trucks. We see what happened in Los Angeles and many other places, right? You don't even want to even think this way, but when we not increasing and understanding that, we can influence by the nature, the force of nature in a negative way. So we want to fix it right now. That every situation that will come, I will use it. It's like a martial art. They're using the energy of the opponent to make them fall. That I would love that the Creator will give me the strength to learn how to influence from every situation to a next level. Influence the world with goodness. Influence change in the world. This is what we want already, to create a mechanism that I will be the creator of this reality. In 6 months from now, I will have the opportunity and I will grab it. And I will influence light and change in the world. So this is what he says, Et asher eneno po hayom, whatever doesn't even yet here, you can still rewrite it. Okay? So please consider that as a major, major advance to this coming year. And then he tells you, Moses, Ki atem yadatem et asher yashavnu b'Mitzrayim. Now Moses brings in a conversation about Egypt. And he tells you, listen, don't pretend you don't remember. That's what he tells them, and I will share it what it means for us. Don't pretend you don't remember how was it in Egypt. How small, and what did you learn from them, right? And Moses asked us this week. He's just reminding us. Atem yadatem. You already know. He tells you, you already know. Knowing what? Are you interested to continue with the same chaos? Are you interested in the same idol worshipping? Idol worshipping is like, are you going to still, you know when you go to those clubs, what's end up happening. You know when it goes to those idols that you really, wow, chasing after idols. You know what's happening. That's why he tells you, Kvar yadatem, you already know. And he speaks, he says, למדתם מדרכם לכסף וזהב, עץ ואבן, right? He says, are you going to still working for money and gold, shiny things? This is what you work, are you going to still work, going to do that for that reason? Are you going to still looking for shortcuts? You already know. I just want to remind you, already know shortcuts, what he's telling you. You already know when you are short-term fulfillment, what it gives you. That's what Moses tells us, to be in the knowing of how this world, this year, you already know when you're on a fast train, everybody else cannot handle you. Get off, be with everybody. You already know, right? It tells you that public opinion will only drive you crazy. You already know that when you're looking for comfort, you are inviting Satan and his friends and chaos. Easy, easy. So this is what the conversation, you know? Of course not. Of course we don't want. Of course we know. So wake up, he's telling you. Wake up. He says, and again, this is a very dangerous to look at that in the literal way, right? But he says, if you already know, and you bring it to next year, you know what will happen. להביא עליה את כל הקללה הכתובה בספר הזה. You bring upon yourself, chas v'shalom, all the curses that exist in that book, he says. Now, again, it's very harsh, it's very difficult, but let's understand from a Kabbalistic what it means. There is a very simple understanding over here. Very simple. It's really recommended to accept it. Recommended. Okay? I don't force you. I don't coerce you to accept it. But I highly recommend it to accept and to work with it. In this reality we learn Kabbalistically, there is no punishment and reward and some angry God. It's simply the Creator create a reality that have cause and effect. Cause and effect. Most of the cause and effects in our reality we can observe, we can see. The only problem we have is when we damage spiritually and the effect happen in the way we don't understand. Then we like, oh, I'm not sure. Right? We get confused. Very simple. If someone play with fire and he get burned, it will have pain, right? Is it punishment? No. You play with fire, you were not careful, you get burned, God forbid, and then there is a scar for the rest of life, right? You think about it, even in a court of law, many people go and ask forgiveness, right? They go, they made in a driving, or even they made a mistake with a neighbor or in the street, or whatever it is, or family go to court sometime. A person goes there, oh, I'm sorry, forgive me, and so forth, and then they, negotiate and done. There are some crime that sorry not gonna cut it off, right? There are some crime that people are committing, like somebody even stole, or in a company, whatever. Eventually he said, I'm sorry, pay back, it's all good. But there are some crimes that we know, we don't want to mention even the name of that, I'm so sorry. You still need to spend time, pay for that, right? In a certain way. So what I'm saying is that the Creator asking us in this portion, Moses giving us a recommendation. I want to make sure that you don't bring all what we call klala is a curse, but we talked about it last week. It's almost it's spoiled, right? It's all the damages that creating because we don't know cause and effect. So what is happening? Or, for example, anybody know what will happen to their phone if they are not charged? Eventually, you cannot call anybody, right? So at some point, if you're not charging your spiritual vessel, if you're not charged spiritually, what type of energy do you have, right? So it's very easy to understand cause and effect in the spiritual work when you know. So he says this way, if you read the Torah, all those horrible curses and blessings are cause and effect, which means it maybe sounds like horrible, but it's a result of me not revealing light in my life. Or it's me creating what we call short circuit to my vessel. In this world, you short circuit the electricity, the plugs are jumping or burned, right? In spiritually, these damages, they're just saying I'm sorry, or coming to Rosh Hashanah and like, oh, you know what, I'm so sorry, hey, my bad. No, some of them is not going to work. We want to come to the level that we accepting first the universal law, that there is cause and effect in this world. And I want to accept it upon myself. And I want to be committed to operate on a spiritual level. And then the physical will follow. There is no, chaos doesn't give vacation. The fact that nothing happened today or tomorrow doesn't mean something evolved. So please be aware of that. Don't be numb, too numb to this world. So again, highly recommended. You understand or you don't understand the effect of your action this year. The result is, you're looking at your life and it says, I want more. Please take upon yourself to live and to be guided by spiritual laws, not by physical laws only. This is what it tells you. This week, we also need to connect to death. Death. Right? What do you mean death? This is the week of death. Yeah. It's the death. Because if you're looking at the shofar, we're blowing every day the shofar. And there's a secret of the sound of the shofar. It's called the wailing. Why wailing? When wailing, God forbid, when somebody goes to a funeral and as they bury somebody, right? You hear the wailing and the wailing and the wailing and the crying, right? That's correct? Where else do you feel where you hear wailing like that? This is Rosh Hashanah. Why? There's few levels here. Every day, those blowing of the shofar in the month of Elul represent one thing. Those wailing of all my soul is trapped with the accumulations of judgment that I carry throughout these years, or years prior to that. And in Rosh Hashanah, I want to connect to the death of what? Of all the judgment. Done. I want to connect to the death of all the damages that I created. I want to connect to the death of the old me. I want to see the old me died. That's it. And the one who sleeps. Yashana veyoshen. Right? The sleeping and the old one. The old you. Anybody understand what I'm just saying? It's the moment of death to all the old thinking. You need to read. It's like almost a funeral. It's hard to hear it this way, but it's a funeral that you're performing to the old you, the old type of thinking, the limited mind thinking, okay? Or the way that, that we thought we're alive. I want to completely give life, chaim, because in this portion it says, Uvacharta b'chaim, I'll explain it now, but it says, you want to give life. If you don't see the death of the old of you, you need to give life to a new way, unimaginary new way. If you can imagine it, it's not that, by the way. If you're sitting around in this week and try to imagine how you're going to be, what you're going to be, it's not that, because imagination also stems from ego, from what I want, okay, from what I see, similarity. I don't want that. Unreal me, unreal, the impossible me. I want to give birth to that, beyond the ego, beyond my consciousness, where I have today. Otherwise, you're wasting your time, okay? Therefore, what we say is, Veshavta ad Hashem Elokecha. And the tshuva that I want to do, the transformation that I want to do, is all the way until the Creator. What does it mean? That this year, right, this year, I will grow purer, stronger, holier, exactly like the Creator. Ad Hashem Elokecha. You will, Veshavta ad Hashem Elokecha, that my transformation will bring a completely new way of thinking that I cannot imagine anymore. There's a very famous section over here, close to the end of the portion. It's fairly the shortest portion of the year. And he says, "Uvacharta b'chaim," and you should choose life, leman tichyeh, for the sake of live. Wait a second. It's the same thing, right? If I choose life, it means I want to be alive. So why did he say, "Uvacharta b'chaim leman tichyeh"? It's this verse, by the way, it's a beautiful, beautiful verse. I spoke about it in different classes prior year to this. But today I want to connect to what we call in this Wednesday night and Thursday, we have what we call the day of creation. The day of creation, meaning the birth of the entire world, were in this coming Wednesday, Thursday. So it's important for all of us to study, who connecting in that day. What do we want to do? Is to know, first of all, if the day of creation is in 3 days from now. What is now? What is today? The moment before creation. We in the moment before creation, before everything started. This is spiritually what's available right now. So they ask us, right then, they ask us right now, what type of life do you want? Because we see a lot of people walking around and alive and living their life, but really they are dead inside. Leman tichyeh is not just to choose to be alive. What type of life do I live? Dead person's life? Connected to only matter? Connected to my ego? That's life of death. It's just with an expiration. So he says to you, "Uvacharta b'chaim leman tichyeh," please choose life of a creator, because this is how you revive yourself. Choose to be the creator this year. Only this way you're going to be revived. רק ככה תחיה. Only this way I want to live like a creator, not a vessel who is needy, who is a victim. This is this week, and this is really right now. If you really understand the spiritual significance, spiritually we're talking that the same energy that appeared in the cosmos in thousands or billions of years ago, it's right now. If you ask scientists or astrophysics, they tell you that the light of the sun that you're experiencing right now, it comes from the moment of creation. It's not me saying, it's scientifically proved. The energy that you're experiencing today comes to you directly from the creation of the world. Right now, you have to understand this is the light that is connected to us in this moment cosmically. Then, the last point, it says this week, Atem nitzavim hayom. Atem nitzavim, you standing today. The initials of that, it's called Ana. Ana. Ana, it can be different ways. Ana, which means please, right? But it says also, Le'ana ta'olech. Ana. Ana ta'olech, right? Which means, where are you going? What do you want? It tells you, it's beautiful. Where Ana panecha moadot, right? Where your face is heading. What are you looking forward for this year, right? It's also important. Now, if you understand the word nitzavim, in Hebrew, nitzav have two meanings. Nitzav is a commissioner in the army or in the police, right? It's called nitzav. That's the commissioner of the police, right? Or nitzav is those people in the movies that are walking around, those extras. That same word. Nitzavim is the head of the commissioner, right, of the army or this. Either you are commander, or you are nobody. You are just the the scene. You are part of the scene. You are not the main character. So imagine how many of us, want to be in the movies, right? You know how many times I had the joking, right? It's like, oh yeah, you see me over there, I'm right there behind the car, right? You see me driving, that's my hand, right? That's how much people enjoy seeing themselves in the movie, but you don't see, right? You have to ask yourself, you're heading to this year. Anna, please tell me where you're going. The Creator asked us, because this is what our soul has been asked. Are you going to be another, just like a extra in a movie of somebody else, or you're going to be the commander and the commissioner of your life? What are you going to do of your life, of this world? And the last idea that comes with that is from Hashla Kadosh. He gives a very clear description of what we want to visualize. V'al hakiseh, he give a description over here of one of the verses in from the writing. V'al hakiseh dmut kemare adam alav milemala. When they describe the chair of glory, the chair of the Creator, right? How did we call it? The throne, right? On the throne, he says, above the throne, there was a vision of human, right? That's the verse. What does it mean? We know kiseh is a chair, but the same word as kisui, which is cover, which is concealment. We came from the holy throne, but there was a cover, right, of the real supernal us. Has to be a cover, right? Which means, he says, Yesh kisui al ha'adam ha'elyon. There is on us, on our supernal version of us, there is a cover. So we cannot see it. And what does it mean? What does the cover does? צורתו האמיתית של האדם הם אורות עליונים ובהירים בפנימי ובחיצוני בדומה לבורא. This is amazing. This is really amazing if you can have that vision. He says the true shape or the true form of human being הם אורות עליונים, הם supernal lights, bright and shine lights, internally and externally, similarly to the Creator of this world. And for that, there is a cover. So we won't see it. And therefore, comes Rosh Hashanah. We want to have a little bit uncover. With the work that we do, to the merit that the work that you do, you will be able to uncover a little bit of that bright shine light internally and externally that each one of us is made of and is look like exactly in the supernal world. What is that? He says, you have lirot et atzmenu beRosh Hashanah, and when you come to Rosh Hashanah next week, you need to see yourself, he says, kevriya chadasha, like a new being. Like a very pure new being that never been introduced to this reality. So please, I want to see myself as a bria chadasha, new way, new me, never been seen before. Not a little bit more. Completely new me. That I'm standing there waiting to serve the Creator and His reality. Where the people in this world, nitzav, mamash, upright, standing like a commissioner, waiting to serve in the spiritual work. I want to tell myself, enough with the excuses, enough with the complaining, enough with the childish behavior. I'm done with this. I'm a new being. I leave all behind. I see the death of the old me, and I give birth to the new me, a new that cannot even imagine that, a new that cannot even comprehend that. אורות בהירים ועליונים. Supernal lights shine and bright, coming out of you internally and externally, shining the entire world. This is what you want to have this coming year. So there's a lot more in this work, in this week's portion, but I want to say Happy New Year, Shana Tova, and to see you in the other side. Of course, completely different, that I don't recognize you anymore. And please, next year, with all the group of people we touched upon and got closer, please let's you bring others. Make sure you make some calls. Make sure you make an effort to bring more people closer to this wisdom. And we change the world with that help. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of the year.